This is Kathleen Kinmont, Kelly Meeker from Halloween 4, and you're listening to the Don't Go Out There horror movie podcast. Cops do it by the book.
There are ghosts around us all the time. Most of them, they can't hurt us. Most of them don't even want to hurt us. A little ghost here, a little ghost there, no one cares. But there are exceptions, like this badass behind me, the ones who die a violent death stay in the tortured realm, and so violence is all they know.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Review Podcast. Just want to thank all our fans and listeners. We really appreciate it. And before we get started on our film review tonight, just going to give a quick shout out to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just give us a follow. Keep up with us. You'll know what movies we're reviewing next. We got our online store and website, don'tgoouthere.com. We got our blogs up. Just check us out. We really appreciate the support, y'all. And tonight's film review is Brother Brian's pick. It's 13 Ghosts. Quick general overviews. I had never seen this movie until this week. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. The ghosts look awesome. Not a big fan of Matthew Lillard, going to be honest. But you can never be mad with a movie with the beautiful Shannon Elizabeth in it. Okay. And that's just my general thoughts of it right now. Mike, you want to go next, brother?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we have a couple differing viewpoints here. I thought it was okay. I remember seeing this, I want to say 2008, 2009, around that time. And I remember liking it a little more the first time I saw it. This time around, I felt it was, look, and I love camp. And I mean, I really do love a good campy horror movie. A lot of those Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camps and stuff like that are a little hokey, and I love those for that. This was almost too much for me. Maybe that's just the way that I saw it. I don't know. I actually completely disagree with you, Nico. These ghosts look like shit to me. They're not scary in the slightest, minus the girl in the tub. She's kind of freaky. But outside of that, these ghosts look like monsters, which is kind of strange. I thought it was kind of a strange move there. To me, this movie, and look, I know I've come on here and said what I think about ghost movies, but to me, this movie would work really well as a hostage slasher film if I viewed it that way, because and by the way, big plus for this movie, I'm a big fan of one location type films. I know they start out in some other places, but most of this movie takes place in a giant ass house that's a little creepy, and so I like that stuff, and I think the cast is pretty good. We'll get into that. Shannon Elizabeth, call me sometime, anytime. Any area code, call, collect, whatever you got to do.
Relax, Mike. I can't put all that on a shirt.
Hey. I was missing last week. I have to come back, make up strong for it. By the way, babysitter, you can call me too. All right, not the point. The point is, I thought it's kind of a hard watch. It's not that I hated the movie, but I felt at times so like nothing happened, and then the last 10 minutes, so much shit happens. And so it's just kind of a hard watch, but it's a short watch, so that kind of helps. So I'm somewhere in the middle of the road. There's some things I like, some things I don't like, to quote a former coach that used to coach at Florida State. So we'll get into it.
Mike, I'm actually pretty much in agreement with you. When I say I thought the ghosts, I thought they looked cool. They definitely didn't look scary to me or nothing.
Right. Well, the effects look good. Right.
Yeah. I'm with you. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, look, to give a little peek behind the curtain here and be totally honest, look, this is my pick. Absolutely is. And so far, I haven't been in the business of picking movies that I don't really love. Obviously, that has to happen at some point, and that's probably, honestly, this movie. However, in my defense, I accidentally picked this movie. I know. How can you do that? But look, in my defense, House on Haunted Hill in this came out about the remake, came out about, the same time when I was a junior/senior in high school. And, it's been that long since I've watched either one of these. I saw them both in the theater, and I really, really remembered loving this movie. but it was actually House on Haunted Hill remake that I loved.
Oh.
The one with my girl Ali Larter and Famke Janssen.
I would have loved to watch that.
Well, to be fair, there was a lot of ghost type movies released around then, in
There was.
99, 2001, and that was definitely the industry back then. And both of these are adapted from stories written by Rob White, so you can give me a break here. So you can cut me a little slack here, right? But that ain't no problem. I don't dislike
This
this
is
at
not the
all.
worst movie we've had to watch.
You're right.
So.
I don't dislike this movie at all. I actually like it. It's entertaining to me. It's just not the one that I really loved whenever I was picking. That's all.
It's all good, brother. It happens. And to be fair, the cover art or whatever is awesome
Yeah,
of this movie. I
super
really
great.
like that. The
Fantastic.
cover art's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, tonight we don't have good brother Dustin Franklin with us. We're going to miss him and all of his comedy. And I think he sent us some notes, though, so we'll see how he managed to get David Arquette into this movie, and I can't wait to see that or hear that.
Hey, that should be pretty damn easy this time. Freaking cut me deep, man.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Scream, that's right.
Yeah.
Anywho, y'all ready to jump into the scene by scene, fellas?
Yes, let's do it, man.
All right, let's do it. All right, film starts in the Dream Warriors junkyard. Just kidding.
It really does. It really does.
A semi busts through a locked gate, and cars follow in behind. A team of hunters set up the equipment. Dennis tells Cyrus, in his professional opinion, they need to leave. They're ghost hunters. Dennis points to where the ghost is after touching the ground and looking at a picture. He says this one's not like the others. What's his name? Damon and Kalina are brought to Cyrus by some other hunters. Damon says you can't catch them without the right spells. Dennis questions about this 13th ghost because he hadn't heard about this one yet. Cyrus has the semi put blood bait out, and then they turn the transmitters on to summon the ghost. The ghost start attacking and killing all the hunters with the junk cars. We see quick visuals of the ghost, Juggernaut, tossing the hunters around. He's now slamming a man into the walls of a building. Dennis radios to Cyrus, I hope you're happy. Kalina cries for help for Damon. Dennis sees Cyrus dead with a sheet of metal through his neck. All right, now we get to the opening credits, and we see Arthur and his kids and his wife, Kathy. They're all just at their house, doing family stuff. Now we hear a fire alarm, and we hear the kids and Arthur yell, "Where's Mom?" And the firefighters yell, "You can't go back in there." And then we hear her death and her funeral eulogy. Back to Arthur in his chair. He's staring outside stoically, and you see all their bills tacked to the wall, and they're all past due. All right, breakfast scene now. Kathy is cooking. Robert is recording. He's a young podcaster. Shout out to the OG. And Maggie, the maid, is not doing her maid duties. Arthur spills coffee all over himself after he trips on Robert's scooter. And I'm just going to say Robert, Bobby. I wrote down Robert, but it's Bobby, his son. So if I say Bobby later, I'm talking about Robert. Kathy, the daughter, mentions they need a bigger place, but Arthur says he can't afford it now. Now we get a knock at the door. It's a lawyer, Benjamin. He has a message from dead Uncle Cyrus. He gets a key to his new house from Uncle Cyrus. Kathy is excited for her own bathroom. Perhaps we'll meet again in another life, Cyrus says in closing. Benjamin tells them they can go with him to the house. And I wrote Bobby has no death awareness because he just laughs about his mom being dead. All right, Brian, that's the two opening scenes I got wrote down. What are your thoughts, man?
All right, man. And you guys may disagree with this, but look, Lillard's someone I always loved in every movie he's been in. He's someone who plays the exact same person in every movie. He plays Matthew Lillard. Scream, of course, and when he's Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. And I know, he always plays a little over the top. All right, a lot over the top. But even in this movie, I think it's a good performance, and I really like it. And I like the character here and how he's funny and self-aware. I've heard one time someone call Matthew Lillard a man on caps lock, and that's about the best description of him I've ever heard, and love it.
Great. That's perfect.
One thing I'll say is if they're already there and they're set up in the car graveyard from Freddy 4, then why do they need Shaggy to tell them where the ghosts are? Like, that didn't make sense to me at all right there. Plus, spoiler alert, if you're going to fake your death, it seems like maybe it would happen off screen or something. To me, that death looks pretty damn final to me, which always rubbed me the wrong way about this movie. Protesters, I hate these characters, especially the character of Discount Alyssa Milano. I mean, Kalina. I think it's completely stupid argument anyway. I mean, they're arguing slavery for someone that's a mass murderer when they were alive and is continuing to kill people even after he's dead. So, plus I hate Kalina for reasons I'll go into later, but her character has no place to me in this movie at all. I did like the one-shot opening credits, though. It gave you the exposition without a big scene to start out with. Although seeing all the stuff that happened right there in the credits as like a pre-credit cold open, to me, I think would have actually been better than the one we got, and had more character development for everybody. I mean, they shot a lot of the footage in that transfer, like flashes between, Monk and Shaggy later in the film. They had a lot. By the way, Tony Shaloub, I call Monk this entire review. So
yes.
But they had the footage to me. I'm sure they could have used it. Two more things. That they push home the fact that my man Monk is in a lot of debt here. So why do we have the live-in nanny? I mean, you know how much those cost? Shit. Shannon Elizabeth has, supposed to be playing like, I don't know, mid-late 20s, but she can't look after that kid. By the way, fast fact, her real age right here is only a year older than Rod Digga, who played her nanny to begin with. Also, another fun fact I found surfing the web, ghost glasses he wears as a little homage to the 1960s 13 ghost film. So that original film was actually shot in what they called Illusion O effects back then. And it evolved the ghosts being like overlaid on the screen in like a blue color. So to see them, the audience in the movie theater would have these like 3D type glasses they'd have to raise up to see the ghosts. So it's a pretty cool gimmick, which I will hate. I would hate watching in the theater, but it's pretty cool looking back.
Hey, appreciate Brian taking all my fun facts right there, but go ahead, brother.
My bad.
Oh,
no, I'm just messing with you, brother. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So, Nico, it's funny that you said the Dream Warrior Junkyard, because that's kind of what the minute this movie opened, I'm Dream Warrior.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that. And the crazy thing is, man, this is going to sound kind of dismissive, but I don't give a fuck about this opening junkyard scene, man. Like, right. Brian made a great point. The opening credit scene that we got, I think, is much more powerful and much more engaging. And look, I like Matthew Lillard in most things. I like him in Scream as Stu. I think his over-the-topness works in that movie as a red herring / not red herring. Like, I think it works in Scream. Here, he's just an annoying fuck, man. Like, I can't get past it. And look, I don't not like Matthew Lillard. Again, like him as Shaggy. I like him in some other stuff. But it just, in this movie, when he's on screen, he sucks the screen dry, man. It is just way too kooky or something. Like, it just doesn't fit with what I remember the movie being the first time I saw it. So maybe it's my own expectations on that. Because when this opening junkyard scene starts, I think I put it in the group chat as we were watching it, man, I forgot how over the top this movie is. Like, I remember it being a little bit darker, a little more serious. But then again, it was a long time ago. So watching it now, and by the way, you said Ben Shaloub, who I love as Monk. He's also great in Pain and Gain as the freaking rich guy that they rob, and Mark Wahlberg like lives in his house and they tie him up in his basement and stuff. He's great in that movie too. So he's, I really like this cast. Again, Shannon Elizabeth is great. And I also wrote down, why the fuck do you have a live-in nanny? Like, what? Like, what's that for? And this is gonna sound mean, but I really don't care, because I'm guns a-blazing tonight, gentlemen. This Bobby kid is annoying, and so I know he's a little kid. I get it.
Man, fuck them kids.
Yeah, as Michael Jordan said, man, fuck them kids, because this kid's annoying, which kind of comes into play. Look, I still get into the plot that comes later, but it is a little bit. It takes me a little bit, because I'm like, man, Bobby kid annoying. You sure you want to come around this whole house looking for this motherfucker? Anyway, so I'm just kidding. That's a joke, by the way. So, and by the way, the first time I saw this movie, I remember watching the message from Cyrus thinking, I don't think Cyrus is dead. So to me, it kind of felt like something was up from the beginning. Like, it seemed too good to be true, obviously. So, spoiler alert, hopefully you've seen the movie so you know what's coming. But I don't necessarily hate these two scenes, but I agree with you, Brian. I might have not necessarily cut the whole junkyard scene out, but I would have probably cut it down some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Mike disagreeing in 2020 is wild, y'all. Wild.
Hey, we only
Matthew
disagreed
Lillard.
on Matthew Lillard in this movie. I love him as Stu, no matter what Nico says. Cut me deep, man.
You just like Scream. You're just giving a pass because you like that movie.
I think he's good. No, I think he's great as Stu. I really do.
And he's
Hey,
the
let me-
best Shaggy there's ever been in cartoon or anything. That dude's great as Shaggy. He's
So
born to play that role.
Yeah, he is a good cartoon character, but I agree with you, Mike. It's like we really expect this guy to be a ghost hunter. It's like
That was my problem.
this
It was-
weirdo is a ghost
Right.
hunter fighting Jackal and
Right.
Juggernaut and Hammer. Like, come on, man.
That was my problem. It was
He
the
of all
role.
people is the one capturing these people. Come on now.
Right. It was the role, the fit. It didn't work for me in this movie. That was, the big problem for me throughout the whole movie.
I couldn't believe Brad Pitt would do that, huh, Dustin?
I
All
was
right,
going
the
to try to
next scene.
impersonate Dustin, but I don't have it.
Go. Okay. All right. Now they're house. Maggie and Robert, Bobby, they're playing. It seemed like a pretty bag full of dynamite. They arrive to the house. They're blown away by it. They now meet Dennis dressed as a power guy. Arthur unlocks the door and they all go inside. A lot of fancy machinery in the house, and it's all glass walls. Maggie says she does not do windows. Again, a maid who does not do anything except collect a paycheck, it seems like.
Worst nanny ever.
Yeah, they all start to just look around. Dennis questions what that crazy son of a bitch Cyrus has done. Arthur tells him to stay right here as he goes with Dennis. Or Benjamin, excuse me. Dennis is wandering the halls of the house. He gets flashes of a ghost. Arthur asks Benjamin if Cyrus was a hunter. Dennis is being attacked by these ghost flashes. Benjamin reassures Arthur he'll never have to worry about house taxes or money. Dennis puts on another set of glasses, and we see the flashes of a ghost all around him as he runs away. Kathy, Robert, and Maggie, they all explore the house. Dennis reveals who he is to Arthur. He's a ghost hunter. Robert and Maggie race down the hallway while he's on his scooter. Dennis says he'll explain soon as they all get outside what's going on. Kathy finds a luxurious room, she claims. Dennis yells Cyrus owed him a shitload of money. He keeps getting attacked by ghosts, and we see flashes of Arthur's wife as he touches Dennis. Benjamin starts to walk the house, and he chats with the ghosts as he passes by them. He picks up a briefcase full of money, but it locks all the doors because it was on a set of pedals. Dennis and Arthur agree it's time to leave. The angry princess ghost gets free and pursues Benjamin with a knife. Ben is then cut in half as a set of glass doors slam shut, and the princess stares at him as he slithers down. I really, really like that Benjamin death. It's probably, spoiler alert, that's my favorite kill of the movie.
Same.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, let me say something about this house design. I don't really care for it at all. I want my ghost houses to be hundreds of years old with cobwebs. Look, this is almost like a mixture of like that Cabin in the Woods facility and obviously House on Haunted Hill remake. But I'm just not a big fan of all the glass, etc. I mean, to me, having old house like sets a lot of the atmosphere that I'm missing a little bit here, and I think it would have been better with it. Yeah, I agree with you, Nico, for sure. Worst nanny ever. She says she doesn't do windows, and then she loses the kids. So to steal a line from Office Space, what would you say you do here?
Yeah, this is a
For sure.
sorry-ass nanny.
And did the lawyer split? Best quote ever. Dad joke, love it. Plus, spoiler alert, like Nico, that's my favorite kill. Although it's not practical with the bones, organs, everything else, the visual I love, practicality be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mike.
I agree with you. That's the coolest damn kill of the movie. It's not close. So spoiler alert on that. It looks really good. And like you said, it might not make a whole lot of sense from a science standpoint, but it looks fucking cool, man. It's really a cool kill. I have pretty much the same stuff that you guys do, man. Maggie, shitty nanny. By the way, I need more Kathy on screen. This is like the most we get, and it's very frustrating because we really could have used a little more Shannon Elizabeth in this movie. That's all I'm saying.
I got a fever, and the only cure is more Kathy, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, more. Yeah. I'm not going to tell her to call me sometime because it's kind of creepy at this point, but you get the point. So these are some of the scenes that Matthew Lillard is over the top. And I know I said it, that he's in the first scene or the first couple scenes, and he is. But in these scenes when he's putting on the goggles and he's running into the ghost, first of all, this is the first time I'm like, these are ghosts? These look like mongoloids or something. Like they look like they look like Jason Voorhees in that one movie where he takes off the mask and like half his face is kind of melted to the side and stuff, like, but he's really hulking. Like that's how that one ghost looks, and I'm like, this is not a ghost. This looks like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger if he died or something. Like it's really weird. So I didn't necessarily like the looks of these ghosts, except the one that Kathy runs into the tub. I know I already said that, but yeah, some of the acting right here by Matthew Lillard is just he's falling on the floor and his facial expressions. Honestly, he reminded me of a pro wrestler where they're like overdoing the facials, they're overacting the like falling, like it's very. I don't know. It didn't work for me in this movie, which is so weird because again, I am a Matthew Lillard fan. Our team is split right down the middle on Matthew Lillard, 2 for 2. And so I'm in your camp, Brian, just not in this movie. These scenes in particular, man, and even when he's just talking to Arthur, it's just like, hey man, come on, man, don't go down there, man. Like, man, come on. Like, it's just too much. So yeah. Cool ass kill though. Right at the end of these scenes, cool ass kill. Can't complain too much about it.
Hey Mike, can the angry princess call you sometime?
Look.
Got him.
I would not like to defile. Look, I can't call a ghost hot. All right, let's move on.
Oh, you can plead the fifth, brother. All right.
Plead the fifth.
The kids are gone now. Arthur is yelling their names, trying to find them. Kathy looks at herself in the mirror, and the angry princess is right beside her. Kathy opens the shower curtain, but can't see the princess sitting there in a pool of blood. Arthur knocks on Kathy's bathroom door as you see the princess stab her. He gets pissed at Maggie for not having Bobby with her, because of course she's the worst maid ever. Robert hears a voice downstairs. Arthur tells Kathy and Maggie to wait in the car while he finds Bobby, but the doors are locked. Dennis tells him the house is sealed. Arthur tells Dennis he's not leaving his sight until Bobby is found. Bobby walks the house with his scooter, and he yells, "Come on, stop hiding." Dennis tells Arthur the glass is soundproof, and the spells keep the ghost at bay. Robert takes off running when he sees the bound woman ghost behind him. Dennis says this basement is full of ghosts. Bobby falls and sees the torso ghost now. And this is the kind of stuff that gets confused. There's all these different ghosts coming after him. Dennis tells him the glasses allow you to see the ghost. Bobby runs into a glass wall and is knocked out. Let me flip my page real quick. All right, Dennis yells at Arthur as he tries to go downstairs. Arthur tells Dennis he'll pay him whatever Cyrus owes him for his help. Bobby hears a message to go upstairs from the withered lover ghost. He turns around and his Uncle Cyrus is there. Dennis is jump scared by the hammer ghost. Maggie sees it now when she puts the glasses on. Dennis shoots the ghost a bird as he leaves. Kathy and Arthur find Bobby's glasses and recorder. Kathy tries to reassure Arthur. Kathy puts the glasses on and is attacked by the jackal ghost. It pins her to the wall and it scratches her chest really bad. And now it starts to pull her through midair. Kalina shows up to help. Dennis stops Maggie as he sees the firstborn son ghost. The jackal chases after Kathy, but the door shut and stops the jackal. The princess ghost pursues Dennis and Maggie. Mike, you want to go first on those two scenes, man?
Yeah, okay, so two things. From this point on, this is what I was talking about in my opening, where I was like, this could really work as some kind of like hostage type, slasher type movie where it's one person, he has the kid or she has the kid, and we're all searching through this house to find the kid. It could work a little bit better with that if they built tension and they built suspense. I know that's not what this movie's supposed to do. They're having a little fun with it. This movie gets meta points, by the way. Mike loves meta. This movie gets a lot of meta points. It is recognizing what it is while it's taking place. It understands it's kind of hokey, kind of over the top, and that's okay. But the scene where Kathy sees the ghost in the mirror is just, that's the only. I know it's supposed to be like this movie is meta. It knows what it is, but that's the kind of scene I'm like, okay, like you saw that shit coming. Like as soon as she went into the mirror, oh, here comes the fucking ghost in the mirror scene. So it's in every ghost movie we've ever seen, and it's just another knock on the movie for me. When Robert ran into the wall, that shit made me laugh. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Couldn't help myself because he's an annoying little shit. Again, the Arthur Dennis scene at the stairs, I already talked about it, where it's just, even in that scene, freaking Matthew Lillard just can't help himself. Okay. This is a part of the movie where I get a little lost because I don't give a fuck about Kalina. And here she is showing back up where we haven't seen her since the very beginning. It's like, it just didn't work for me. It wasn't my cup of, like, once they involved her, I knew, like, once they involved her, I knew what was coming. This death was faked, like, something's up. Like, there's something not on the up and up here, and it just didn't work for me. So, I mean, there's some good stuff here, but it's just a little too over the top. Like I get a little lost because I can't take the movie serious enough. So, if you're not a Scream fan, I know how you feel now.
Yeah, Kalina can get the fuck up out of my movie for sure.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
right there
you.
with you on that one. Hey, a little fun fact, throwing them out there the whole time. So the writing etched on one of the walls in the glass house actually translates to read the Lord's Prayer. So throwing that out there right there. Look, a little thing about this angry princess bathroom scene, about the tension. And this isn't my quote. I got it off a video I watched. I can't really recall off the top of my head like which one it was, but I can't take credit for coming up with it myself, so I'm not going to do that. But it was great, and I wanted to repeat it anyway. But it said Hitchcock said there was a difference between surprise and suspense. Two people are talking, a bomb goes off, that's a surprise. But you show the audience that a bomb is going to go off, and then you have the suspense before it does. So I think that's what they were doing there with the glasses. They're showing her in the room with Shannon Elizabeth's character, but she never sees her, only the audience does. So I mean, I thought that was a pretty decent job there, and I think that was a good example. Splitting up, I wrote down splitting up. Way to go. Shaking my head. I thought you were better than that, Monk. And the jackal, obviously the ghost of Amanda from Saw, that Saw obviously ripped off from this movie. I'm kidding. Nico just threw something in his computer at me. But it's probably my favorite ghost of all of them. He's got a cool backstory too. But I'll admit, like, I always thought it was a girl, to be honest with you. But see, it's here when Kalina shows up that she scares the jackal off with the fire. But you don't even catch that, though, unless you know the backstory and how the jackal was in the asylum when it burned down, and now he's scared of fire. And that's my biggest nitpick about this movie is, like, the ghosts have really cool backstories, too. Mm-hmm. Cool, like, very cool backstories. Yeah. But, you don't get to hear them at all. You have to go look them up, so I don't really understand the point of them.
I agree. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's a great point.
Arthur hugs Kathy and asks Kalina, what the hell was that? He asks what she's doing here. Arthur puts the glasses on and sees the jackal ghost. Kalina says she plans to set the ghost free. She tells him about the machine that Cyrus has built. Kathy's gone now. They see the firstborn son ghost with an arrow through his head. Dennis throws Maggie the glasses as he's trapped in the room. Dennis is being attacked by the torn prince. Kalina and Arthur are being chased by the jackal. The door opens and Dennis escapes. Kalina says to get to the library because there's spell protection all around it. Dennis sees the great child ghost and they run off. They meet up and Kalina and Arthur, Dennis asks, how do you lose a family in a glass house? Dennis asks. The jackal attacks Arthur now. Dennis hits it with a flare and they run off. Dennis says he hates his job as they get to the library. And then he and Kalina start to argue and accuse each other of why this all happened. Arthur tells him to shut up. They tell Arthur the fourth ghost is his dead wife. Arthur punches Dennis out of rage. Kalina says it's not a house, but a machine. The ghosts represent the Black Zodiac, and she names off all these ghosts. The ghosts are used to open the eye of hell. The man who controls the Ocularis, I think is what it's called, would be the most powerful man on Earth. Dennis says it doesn't add up. Arthur just wants to find his kids. Kalina says she has enough explosives to blow them back to the 15th century. And the next two scenes are the finale, guys. Mike, Brian, either one of y'all have a preference on who goes first?
Hey, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, sure. Look, you've got Dennis being attacked by the Torn Prince, with Maggie telling him how to avoid him right there, yelling through soundproof glass, by the way. Then it cuts, and they're both, just walking around. No explanation how they got away, anything. To me, that was a really weird cut there. Then we get literally almost 2 minutes of nothing but shots through the damn house and soundtrack. Did Stanley Kubrick make this movie? I mean, I'm just kidding. If he did, it would have been about 30 more minutes of that.
It would have been better. I know that. Anyway.
And again, we have Kalina bitching at Matthew Lillard, Shaggy here, about how it's his fault. Again, tell me how. If they weren't here, wouldn't they just be out killing everyone else? This is like getting mad at the Ghostbusters for trapping ghosts and holding them in a containment unit. You'd rather them be out killing people. That doesn't make any fucking sense as an argument. And obviously, we get the twist later, which to me is a whole nother shit on this character completely. And, and my last little parting thought here was I thought it was super cheesy of Arthur knowing the Latin translation of Ocularis, by the way. It just off the top of his head. To me, I thought that was just out of place and seemed weird.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Mike.
This whole set of scenes is a fucking 30-minute Scooby-Doo episode. This whole set of scenes. And it's fitting that Matthew Lillard is in this part so heavily because he plays a great Shaggy here and he plays a great Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. Like, I'm watching this and they have the blueprints. Hey, this room. And the back and forth between the characters and the cuts you were talking about. And then and like you said, there's basically a damn music montage right in the middle of this fucking movie, which makes no damn sense. And so, again, it's like a Scooby-Doo episode. I was expecting zoinks at any time. Like, it was hard to follow. Like, I watched this movie 3 times, and it was hard to follow. So, kind of lets me know that it's not that I necessarily hate it, because it's a light watch. It's entertaining. So I'm not like keeping my eyes open like I was with Audition or anything. Like I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I'm still engaged, but I'm not fully engaged. Like it hasn't been able to grab my attention. Like you said, him being able to read the Latin, get the fuck out of here, man. And again, the whole character of Kalina has ever since she showed up, I'm like, okay. Like, can we find Bobby and get the fuck out of this house? Like, that's really what I need to see. And I think I said it earlier, a whole lot of nothing happens, and then bam, a whole bunch of shit happens in the last 25 minutes. And it's a lot. And again, the Scooby and the gang are at it again, man. Like, it is the set of scenes you just talked about, probably my least favorite set of scenes in the movie.
Mike, I agree again with you 100%. Like, me, you, and Dustin watched this Thursday night, and like, we text each other during it, and I said this is going to be a hard movie to scene by scene because once they start going through these hallways, to me, I was going to put this is in my review part, but this just got so monotonous and repetitive over and over. They go into a room, they put on a pair of glasses, they see a different ghost, and Matthew Lillard starts twitching. It's over. Scooby-Doo. And you're right. The Scooby-Doo comparison was perfect. I couldn't think of what this is, but when you said it's a Scooby-Doo, it's a movie basically with live characters. Like, yeah, this is exactly it.
I'm pretty sure there's a Scooby-Doo episode called Scooby and the 13 Ghosts, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost 90% sure. Okay.
Yeah, well, I read that. I did.
Matthew Lillard is in the Scooby-Doo franchise, so it all works out in the end.
Yeah, I started getting, like, after I watched this, and I started thinking, I was like, this is reminded me of Hellraiser, whenever Julia kept bringing people back and beating them in the head and feeding them. It's just, it's just the same repetitive thing over and over and over. It's just
at least Hellraiser had some cool kills and shit. This has one.
All right, this is the last 2 scenes, and I feel bad because I'm kind of just shitting all over this movie.
Yeah, we
right
are,
now.
but I mean, I'm spicy tonight. Let's go.
You should feel bad. You both should feel bad, bastards.
Hey, Brian, if you'd picked the right movie, we wouldn't be shitting on it.
I was gonna say, if you'd have picked the right, I like the movie you were supposed to pick.
Damn it! I wanted the better version of this movie, and I missed it.
It is a significantly better version. Go ahead, Nico.
I'm fucking with you, brother. All right, last 2 scenes. Dennis and Arthur grab a glass door for protection. Maggie and Kalina leave together. There's no place like home, Dennis chants. The 2 ladies find the lawyer cut in half. Kalina and Maggie get to the machine. The Torn Prince attacks Dennis and Arthur, but is crushed by their glass door. Kalina attacks Maggie as Cyrus walks in. She asks, "You're not mad at me, are you?" to Cyrus. Dennis puts Arthur behind the door and fights the hammer. Now the Juggernaut. I do like this scene. I do like this kill, Mike. The Juggernaut breaks Matthew Lillard in half, basically.
Yes.
Kalina says, and I kind of was looking forward to Matthew Lillard dying, to be honest. Kalina says Arthur won't do it if the kids aren't in jeopardy. He orders her to put them in some danger. Cyrus starts the chants over the machine. The ghosts walk off and fade out, and now Arthur sees his wife's ghost. He pours, I just wrote Arthur, he pours his heart out to her, how much he misses her and he loves her and all that. And then her ghost fades away. Cyrus crushes Kalina between two glass doors. Yeah, Cyrus he's an evil motherfucker in this movie. Arthur finds his kids in the middle of the ocularis, and the ghosts are all around them. Arthur sees Cyrus, and we hear Kalina's soliloquy about the ghost she gave earlier. He realizes Cyrus isn't dead and attacks him. Cyrus beats him with his cane and says the world doesn't need little people like him. Maggie, she starts messes with all the controls of the machine, and the ghosts walk out. The ghost kills Cyrus by throwing him into the machine. Dennis' ghost tells him it's not over and to go get his kids. Arthur jumps through all the rings circulating his kids, and the glass walls start to shatter. Arthur hugs his kids, and his wife appears. "I love you," she says, and she fades away. And then the film ends with Maggie yelling she quits and that this was not her job description. I don't know what was in your job description, Maggie, because you didn't do a damn thing except walk around.
What the fuck is your job description?
Walk,
Christ.
Talk inappropriately around the kids and get a paycheck, I think is what it was.
Called the daughter a bitch and told, why the son calls her a slut and all this other stuff. That's
Play hangman.
Yeah. So I don't know what was in your job description, but I guess it was literally nothing. But still
Mike,
money for Monk.
You want to go on those last two scenes, man? We'll let Brian go last first pick.
Yeah, sure. So right off the bat here, I love that Dennis kill too. I think it's a cool kill. I like the look of Juggernaut, but I don't like him as a ghost. Like that makes no sense. I have no logic, but I would think he would just be like a better, almost like creature feature with this killer.
Juggernaut looks like he should be in The Hills Have Eyes or something.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting at. So it's not that he looks bad. I think the effects are good. It's just I can't see that being a ghost. But I guess a ghost could literally be fucking anything. So, as we learn in Oculus, it's a goddamn mirror. So, sorry. My point is, this set of scenes makes me think there's a better cut of this movie somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Because there's an emotional tie here with Arthur and his wife and the kids, and I feel like they could have hit that heavier than all this other side plot stuff. Like there's a lot going on with Kalina and Cyrus. I just don't feel like it was needed to make it a good movie. I feel like the family connection, pick a villain, because now we kind of have two villains. We've got Cyrus and we've got the ghost. They're kind of after everybody. And somewhat Dennis in a way because he's annoying. So there's a lot going on. There's just a lot. And I feel like if they had scaled it back and made it a little simpler, and maybe that's just my dumb meathead brain, I guess. But I feel like there's a better cut of this movie that's a little bit more linear, simpler, straight to the point. And I think that they do a good, I like the scenes where Arthur jumps through the rings, he reunites with his kids. I like the scene with him and his wife. He gets to say, I miss you so much and all that stuff. Like, I like that set of scenes. I think that's really good. But all the other stuff that surrounds it just kind of drags it down to me and takes away the fun. And Maggie, you can get the fuck out. I wish they had. I know that this is supposed to be a super serious movie, so I'm normally okay with ending on a kind of a laugh, like a ha-ha. But after we get that right there, I would have just loved the ending. He reunites with his kids, sail off into the sunset, and we get that. It didn't hit right for me. And normally I'm a big fan of that, but not in this movie. It just didn't hit right. So.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's definitely a better cut of this for sure, where you had a lot more character development before. So I saw some of these scenes maybe hit a little bit harder, and had a little bit more of an emotional tie. I completely agree with you. And fucking speaking of character development that has none, this is what I was talking about. So Kalina goes from this strong protester type woman ready to bomb the damn place to now you find out she's just a submissive yes man in like an obviously abusive relationship with Cyrus. So like I don't like this twist at all. And and I mean usually with well-written twists you can go back, you can see the tip-offs, and this just like seems something like it was just decided at the last minute that the movie needed something thrown in there because there's no good setup. Cyrus's death seemed like it should have been done way differently to be believed as a twist later. And Kalina, if you insist on having this character in the movie, has way too drastic of a character change to be believable. Like you just don't believe she goes from this great, this big, strong woman, protester type wanting to save the world and to this stabbing her in the back like a submissive to Cyrus, and I hate that part. And the ending to me has always bothered me because they release all the ghosts to go fucking murder and kill people at will, but it's the nanny joke that it ends on. And shit, Maggie should have never even survived. She wasn't in the center of the house like they said. So, that sours up honestly a lot of this. I feel like they definitely didn't stick the landing on the ending here. And, we'll get into it later, but on House on Haunted Hill honestly suffers a little bit from that too. Also written by Rob White again. So, look, let me just say, we're talking about fixing the script. I'll fix it. I'll fix the ending right here. We all know exactly how it should have ended, with them looking at the ghosts, walking into the woods, and saying, "This is going to get messy. Who you going to call?" Boom, Ghostbusters theme. Boom. Ending of the
She did reference ectoplasm in the movie. That had to be a subtle nod. So,
do any of y'all have any final thoughts on the movie before we jump into some fun facts?
I kind of feel like I was negative a little more than I wanted to come across, because I don't think it's like this like terrible movie or anything, but it's almost like it almost makes me more mad because I feel like there's a better damn movie within this movie somewhere. So that's why I'm like, it's just okay. It's just an okay movie.
Yeah, I've only got 2 fun facts. So I'll just go real quick. Excuse me. The effect for the torso was achieved using a double amputee wearing a special black hood that could be used to digitally remove his head. I thought that was pretty cool. And of all the creature makeup created for the film, the angry princess required the longest time to apply at 5 hours. So I thought it was pretty interesting. And we've said the other ones I had throughout the review. Does anybody else have fun facts?
I don't personally, as I said, I'm doing the thing, but Dustin does. So
here we go.
Let me read a couple of Dustin's. First of all, David Arquette. Right off the gate, we get introduced to David Arquette Scream co-star Matthew Lillard. That was the David Arquette connection from my man Dustin. And a couple of his fun facts are great. I'm gonna read them in radio voice too. There's a porn parody called 13 Erotic Ghosts. That's one fun fact. Is also the first film from a major American studio featuring 3 Arab American leads: Tony Shaloub, F. Murray Abraham, and Shannon Elizabeth. Which, by the way, I did not know that Shannon Elizabeth they were married. So, and his last fun fact, I already said, with Shannon Elizabeth being a year older than Rod Digga. So.
Yep, I had that one as well. All right, Brian, this is your pick, brother. Do you want to go first or last in your favorite kill, least favorite kill in the rating?
I'll go first just so you guys can shit on it later, the whole time.
All right, go ahead.
I haven't done that already.
So again, I already said this. I don't hate this movie, and I think I picked it apart more than Mike even. So I mean, he's complaining about, maybe he complained about it too much, but I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I picked it apart just as much. But hell, I pick apart movies I love too. So that's just part of it. But I think this is a great cast. I think the opening fell short. I think the ending fell short. It was all right. It was an enjoyable, quick little watch. If it had been 2 hours or more, it would have drug on, and I would have really hated this movie. So it was a quick little, all right, way to spend an hour and a half or whatever it was. Best kill to me, I already said it, was a lawyer getting cut in half. Love the effects on that visual. The worst kill to me was Kalina's like smash in between the glass. I thought the effects looked cheesy and looked like something from Roger Rabbit or The Mask or something. So Those are my two. My rating is a 6.5.
Mike, I'll go next. I'll let
Okay.
you finish us off. All right, favorite kill. I'm agreeing with Brian. Benjamin, the lawyer, cut in half by the glass doors. It looked awesome. And when we say cut in half, we're not talking about like at the waist or down the middle. It's like literally right down his half.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It looked great.
My least favorite kill, Brian. I'm close to yours, but I picked Cyrus at the very end. I thought the effects looked terrible, and I hated that little 3D attempt at the end, throwing his legs, whatever, at the screen. I thought it looked horrible. All right, my rating, I gave it a 5.25. The pros, it's a good runtime because, good God, if it was been an hour and 50 or longer, I'd have wanted to shoot myself. Good. The ghost, I thought the ghost looked cool, like I said earlier. Shannon Elizabeth is always a bonus, and I thought the acting was pretty good in this movie, honestly. And I liked Arthur a lot. The kid was kind of annoying, like Mike said. The cons, I just wrote, it's just not my cup of tea. The walking through and seeing the ghost just got repetitive and monotonous, like I said earlier. Matthew Lillard just annoys me in horror movies. He's too extra. It doesn't make sense. And the last thing I wrote is that it doesn't make sense that they're poor but have it made. And I wrote that this movie, it really wasn't scary at all. Nothing about it was scary.
No, that's very true.
And I told Mike and Dustin and I, this movie was very hard, honestly, scene by scene, just to keep up with the constantly walking through the halls and these different, and they don't explain the ghost at all. I had to shout out to my guy on YouTube. I don't know who it is, but he made a quick video that had all the list of the ghost names and a picture of them. So shout out to you for helping me out, my man. Go ahead, Mike.
Right. So my favorite kill is it's cut in half, and my least favorite is, I agree with you, Nico. It's Cyrus, because this whole movie's over the top, but that kill is really just like in your face, like just throwing his legs around. Like, it wasn't for me. Not my cup of tea on that. So that's my least favorite kill. Okay. So this movie, it had potential, and I think that's why I'm kind of like really taking the time to properly shit on it, because I feel like there is a good concept here to make a cool little horror movie. I like the idea that there's 13 ghosts, and I like that they have to figure that out. But like you guys have said, we don't know anything about these ghosts. They're literally just mongoloid-looking, hills have eyes people. Like, it doesn't work when I don't have any kind of explanation. I know that works for some movies like slashers and stuff, but for this, it just doesn't fit. All the stuff I've already said, I'm not going to go back over it, so I'll throw some pros in here. I like Shannon Elizabeth. Yes, obviously. I like Arthur. I think he's a good character. Acted by the perfect person. My man Monk, shout out. And I like most of the cast. And I don't hate Matthew Lillard. He just doesn't work in this movie for me. So all that being said, all the negatives I've already kind of tossed on. I hate to just completely zip my pants down and defecate anymore. So I'm gonna give this a 4.5. It's not that I wouldn't watch this again, because I would. I watched it 3 damn times, so it's going to be a while. But I don't see myself going out of my way. Maybe if it's like a Matthew Lillard-thon or something. But this would probably be the one Matthew Lillard movie I'd skip. So 4.5. That seems a little low, but I think it's because it makes me so mad, because I feel like there's a good 7.5, 8 movie within this movie somewhere, and it just didn't hit.
Honestly, I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but how, like y'all said, Kalina is like a useless character, but how useless is the maid in this movie?
Well, she's very useless.
Like, why is she in this movie? That's just my opinion on that character.
I
Kalina is a useless character, like you said. It's not a good twist, and there's nothing that gives you. I don't know, James Wan would never with something like that kind of a terrible twist.
Oh, if James Wan directed this, it would be significantly better. But I don't know if it's the director so much as it is the writer. The writer. I'm good on that.
Well, let me give Dustin's pick.
There we go. Got brother Dustin.
That's right. I forgot he sent his notes in. Go ahead.
Favorite kill, Ben Moss. The visuals of him getting cut in half and the front half sliding down the door while the back half stood was awesome. Least favorite kill, the team member that got killed in the front seat of the car. You don't see what happened, but blood splatters everywhere. That's lame. Rating, my man Dustin. 6.5.
Wow.
If the beginning wasn't such a clusterfuck, if the score wasn't way too loud, and if that's another thing, by the way, I'm glad Dustin brought that up. The score was way too damn loud. I thought it was just maybe my cut of the movie or whatever, but there was plenty of times where you couldn't hear the dialogue. You had to turn the damn thing
Yep.
up. So I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, I agree.
And if parts weren't so confusing, in other words, had they explained the whole deal better, it would have gotten a higher rating. I enjoyed it, but it could have been easier to watch. Tony Shaloub and Shannon Elizabeth are highly regarded by me, so I'd definitely watch it again.
So he rated this higher than Joyride, huh? That's I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know
I'm
about
still
that one.
salty about that, Dustin. Low key. I'm hurt, dog. I'm hurt. Anywho, it wasn't a terrible watch, but that whole in the hallway with all these ghosts just got super monotonous to me.
Yeah,
it got
did.
painful. It got painful, honestly.
Yep.
And it just got hard seeing Matthew Lillard doing the little twitches over and over. It's like, oh God, why, Lord?
Outside of that, I do like the acting in this movie. I think it's a really good cast. So
Yeah. Arthur was great. I loved Arthur. He was awesome.
Yep.
Tony
Shalhoub, awesome.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody got any final thoughts before we announce next week's pick?
I'm good. Throw it out there, brother.
Next week we're doing a long overdue movie. When we first started this podcast, when we made our list, I think Freddy vs. Jason was top 5 movies we had to do. I think.
Yeah.
But 51 episodes later, we're finally getting to Freddy vs. Jason. If you've been a loyal listener and you listen to our Robert Englund interview, I've been very vocal about how I feel about the movie and its importance to me. And spoiler alert, teaser alert, we may or may not have the man who played Jason coming on the show too. So everyone keep their fingers crossed. Hey, keep your fingers crossed for several bonus interview episodes coming soon because we're bouncing around doing some things like John James Fisher would say.
Well, hey, Nico, let me correct you because this is only a good thing. But Freddy vs. Jason will be the 50th episode of the pod. A good milestone and a good movie to have a milestone on.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. 2 of the greatest icons in slasher history and horror history on the same screen. Glove to machete combat. It's awesome. And I'm ready to... This is going to be one of those episodes, kind of like all of our Halloween episodes, where there's going to be some really good debate on stuff we like, stuff we dislike.
Absolutely.
Should this movie exist? Could they have done things better? So this is going to be one of those fun episodes that creates a lot of discussion between us, and I'm really looking forward to doing this one. And big shout out to Robert Englund for coming on our show again. Still hard to believe we got Freddy Krueger himself on the show, and I'm really excited to interview Ken Kurzinger. Honestly, I'm really hoping that goes through for us.
Hey, you think Ken is scared of water too, or what? Oh, sorry. All right.
Hey, fuck you, buddy. I'm just
kidding. Hey, that's a clip forever right there, pal.
Anywho, we really appreciate all the support, y'all. It's a great honor and it's a great feeling to know just how much y'all are loving the show. We put a lot of work into it, so we really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. And just want to remind everybody to don't go out there.